Welcome to TeenPODS. We are absolutely delighted today to welcome Ellie Wilson on board. Hi Ellie, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Really good, thank you. So you're in England, we're in New Zealand, so opposite times of the day. You're in your evening.
Yes, I'm going to go sleep after this, you're going to wake up.
Yeah, that's right. And you're in lockdown as well, aren't you?
Yeah, it's still in lockdown.
So how's it going in lockdown, Ellie?
Yeah, it's going well. I mean, you start learning things about people.
You do.
Annoying little habits, but no, it's all right. It's going well. I've got live in a lovely house, so there's quite a lot of space to move around in.
Yeah. So Ellie, we have brought you on board because you have an incredible story to tell. Our listeners come from all different walks of life. They're all around the world in different situations facing adversity and conflict. Your story is quite unique. Aged 12, you lost your beautiful mother. Mm-hmm. And then only 3 years later, aged 15, you lost your dear father.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you were at age 12, you were just about to start secondary school, is that right?
Yeah, I was in secondary school for a few months and then she passed away.
And she had been ill for quite a period of time with breast cancer, is that right?
Yes. Oh no, it was ovarian.
Ovarian cancer.
Ovarian cancer, yeah.
She had been ill for quite a period of time during your childhood, hadn't she?
Yeah, but she never let on. So looking back now, it wasn't ever, mum's ill. It was just normal. She'd never let on.
And mums are so brave like that though, aren't they? They try to just cover everything up for their children just to get on as normal, and you know, how amazing is that?
Yeah, good memories as well. You don't want to keep on in the past thinking about it. So
how did you deal with it age 12? You know, it's a difficult age for anybody then anyway, going into a new school. There's a lot of things to come to terms with, and then to lose your mum at that age. How was that for you?
I feel like everything just became a bit chaotic. So even school life, I didn't like being in school because it was so structured and everything else around me was so chaotic that it just felt weird then going back into a structure of what it was like in school. But you make your friends from it, you learn about people from it. So yeah, it was difficult, but looking back on it, I feel like because I did have my sister, my brother and my dad, we were a very strong unit. So that's all I could have really asked for. So yeah.
And really, now you're 20, it's interesting looking back, isn't it? Because we survive what we have to survive. You knew nothing else, so you just had to go through it, didn't you? But looking back now, you're 20, do you feel as though there was support in place for you at that time?
I feel like as a 12-year-old girl, there was support there, but there was no way I was going to take it. I just wanted to do everything on my own. I didn't need someone telling me how I should feel. But then looking back on it, 100% could have benefited from talking to someone. But you learn.
Yeah. And then did you deal with it differently than aged 15 when you then lost your dad?
No, it was the same. I didn't want to talk to anyone. But with losing my dad, it was then moving to a new place and then moving into a new family, doing all of this. So it was a bigger change. So it was very much, your mind was on trying to kind of fit in with my uncle and auntie and her family, who are amazing, but it was kind of more of a transition than it was just dealing with it, what you know.
Yeah, you have the same amount of time to grieve, really. Yeah. Like when you lost your mum, you had your dad, your brother, your sister, and you could grieve as a family unit. But then you lose your dad, and it's not just about the grieving then, is it? It's about building a new life.
Yeah, and I feel like there was a bit of anger there towards my dad because obviously when he lost my mum, he fell into drinking a little bit, and that's what he passed away of. So it was kind of a bit more like, oh, well, I'm not going to grieve it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to let him. But looking back, you know what? We always say he died of a broken heart. So, yeah.
And I
Which is
think
true,
you can't.
but you learn how to love again, don't you?
You do, and your journey has been so brave. I've followed you on Facebook, and you've obviously got a lovely social life. You're very popular. You always have been very bubbly and lively, and you've always been very independent. And I know recently you've had a trip to Africa. What took you to Africa, Ellie?
Amazing. So I just finished college. So somehow I like just muddled through school into college, and then I kind of got to a point where I was like, I don't really want to go back to educate. It's all changed now because I want to go to university, but at that point I was like, I don't really want to go back to school. I don't want to do university, but then again, I don't want to get a full-time job. So I said, well, my mum, she was a charity fundraiser. That was her job, and loved every minute of it. She always came home like smiling and happy, and so that I think probably got it from her. So I decided to do a gap year to Ghana, which was amazing.
How was it? Tell us about it.
It was just beautiful. Like in London, it's all very like busy, and you don't actually connect with many people there. It's like a full-on community. You walk out the door, you know everyone. Everyone's trying to help you, and it's just an amazing way to see how you can have so little but give so much to other people. Like it was, really put things in perspective a little bit.
Did you do some charity work while you were over there?
Oh yeah, so I was teaching. I say teaching, we played hangman quite a lot. It was like hangman and heads down, thumbs up kind of thing.
Love it.
So for listeners who think, gosh, I'd love to do something like that, but I wouldn't know where to start, how did you get to go to Africa? Did you join a charity organisation, or did you go with a foundation?
So it was a company called Plan My Gap Year, which I just found online, and then you have to make them like fundraise the money yourself. So I did a quiz night, I did a cake sale, I did a Mayfair, and I got a scholarship as well.
Oh,
which is good.
So
I had a lot of help.
Yeah, but when you've got a dream, it shows that sometimes you just have to work that little bit, you have to put a bit of effort in to make your dreams happen, and you did. How fantastic.
Yeah, and now coming back from it, I now know I want to be a teacher, so.
Oh, you found your passion and purpose while you were there as well, which is awesome.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. Going to try and start that in September.
So how long were you there for, Ellie?
I was meant to go for 6 months, and then 4 months in I got into a car accident. Oh, honestly, it's one thing after another.
Wow. And did you have to come home because of that?
Yeah, can you see I've got a...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
what happened, Ellie?
There was a drunk man on the other side of the road came and collided into us head on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you went to hospital over there, and were you then flown home?
No, I had to stay in hospital 2 weeks, and then I flew home.
With a head injury?
Yeah.
Wow. And what was it like being in a hospital in Africa?
It was interesting. It was interesting. I said, there was a hospital here that I thought wasn't the best, and now, but they were lovely. Like they don't have much, so what can you do?
What an experience, Ellie. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I just see you as somebody that is so resilient after what you've been through, and we often talk to our guests about when you overcome such severe tragedy or conflict or adversity in your life, you learn resilience. You have to get stronger, don't you? And you show such courage. So there you are in Africa, in the middle of a foreign country, aged only 20, having a major car accident, being in a hospital, and showing your true resilience. And look at you, absolutely shining today. When I think of Africa,
I think it's the lighting.
When I think of Africa, I kind of think of really strong family connections. Think about people like you going over there and having these experiences. Is it about connection? What's the unique thing about being there? What's the big takeaway lesson that you have brought back to England with you?
Just that, literally, like however little you have, the sense of community can never be enough. Like there was such like tragedy when I was there, but everyone gets involved, whether it's like your neighbours, sisters, dogs, friends. Do you know what I mean? Everyone comes together, gets involved. If you're struggling, you know that you always have someone.
Yeah. Did you find that they were quite happy people as well?
Very happy people.
Yeah.
After school when we came back, we call them the porch kids, because they just come and like they just chill on the porch, all from the community, from the outside areas, and they're amazing. And some people send them to school now. I send some of them to go to school. It's not that much at all, so it's just an amazing thing to do, and they want to learn. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like trying to help them and teach them what they were teaching, like what they needed to learn. And then I was there like, that was not me when I was younger. Just amazing.
Is there a big difference in the attitude of children going to school in Africa compared to those going to school in England? What's the biggest difference? Is it wanting to learn?
Yeah, so they just want to learn, and they want to do well, and like they have such big dreams and aspirations in life. And then it's nice to see. Yeah,
and I think they're really grateful, and they're quite mindful as well, aren't they? They just, they have so little, and they are grateful for everything that they do have. And I think that's
exactly.
And Ellie, what's the next stage for you then? Have you applied to teach training college?
Yes, so I am university in September to do primary education, which is
Whereabouts?
In Bristol.
Lovely. Fantastic, how lovely. So university in England starts September?
Yeah,
just thinking, because we begin over here we begin in March, don't we, Jo? So September. So you've been through the process of application. Have you been accepted?
Yes, I got an unconditional.
Oh,
congratulations. And then do you have to apply for halls of residence? What's the next stage with accommodation?
So first was student finance and then was halls of residence. So I've applied for them.
Can I ask a quick question? Can I just go back to obviously your mum and dad? I just want to leave something with our listeners, because obviously it was difficult ages in your life, 12 and 15, and now here you are, age 20, and you found passion, you found purpose in life, and that's so wonderful to find at such a young age. So good for you, and good for you for having that courage to take the gap year as well. It's so beautiful. But how have you got through the grieving process? Because maybe you didn't do it at age 12, maybe you didn't do it at age 15, but you seem quite switched on about losing your parents. How have you grieved them?
It's probably not the best way, but I've kept busy in a way that it's not always the first thing on your mind. The first thing on your mind is what are you going to do? Not like in the past, how upset am I? Why am I upset? But now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, maybe I should revisit kind of like the upset, because
that's a reason.
It all comes back to you and you're like, maybe I should deal with it in a way, but no one really knows how, do they? So
no, and that's a really brave and honest answer, and I really appreciate that, because it's a really good message for listeners as well, because sometimes we're not ready to deal with it at the time, and that's okay. Distraction, keeping busy is a way of dealing with it, because our mind can't always live in trauma. It's if we constantly lived in the trauma, it would make us ill. And I mean, how sad would we be all the time? We can't live in that level of sadness. So distraction and working through it is a normal coping mechanism, I think. And finding a place when you are feeling mentally strong enough to deal with it, which I think you're saying that maybe you're coming to that point now where you can see the benefits of now maybe going back to talk about it, to deal with with it. I think that's a really important message, because there's no right or wrong. There's no pathway which is going to be right for everybody. You have to follow your intuition and what you think. And if you're getting them feelings now that you feel like maybe you should address it, well then maybe you should.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think there's a time frame on grieving.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
And Ellie, I think I said to you that I lost my mother when I was only just a bit older than you. And Jo and I were chatting to a neuroscientist not so long ago, and he said losing a mother is one of the worst things you can ever go through in life, because it changes the whole outcome of the rest of your life. There's many things you can lose today, but you carry on with your life. But once you lose a mother, you officially lose your home, and every decision you make for the rest of your life is altered because of it. You choose different relationships, you take a different path immediately, where everybody else continues with the stability and security they know. You lose that. And it really struck me, because it made me think, even at my age, 35 years later, still my life is affected by not having a mother. She didn't see my children, and she won't see the grandchildren. And the whole of life, as Jo and I always discuss, is a process and a journey, and we grieve at different stages. And there's a lovely, well, I don't know if it's lovely or not, is it that time heals? Time does heal, because you're not in that instant raw pain. Yeah. But on the other hand, you're still on that journey of exploring life, and there's different times and seasons to dip in and out of accepting and coming to terms with and unraveling. And I think the whole of life, whatever we experience, whether it's a loss of a parent or loss of something else in our life, we still go on that journey of grieving and taking that with us, and taking the beauty of it with us as well.
Yeah, I think, yeah, exactly.
And your mother, I knew your mother really well. She was a great friend of mine. She was absolutely beautiful through and through. And she, as you say, she loved her charity work. And I see I see her all over you, and your father as well, both of them in you. And I can see them living on in you. I can see you radiating so much joy and passion. You've always been such a passionate person. And I can just see you just giving so much to others. I know that in Africa you would have given so much love in a way that many others maybe couldn't go to the depth of love that you can go to. And that's a message as well, isn't it, Jo? That as far as we suffer, we can also love.
Yeah.
You're an absolute inspiration. It's so lovely to see you. I don't think I've seen you for 9 years, so it's wonderful to see you again. We are really excited by your next adventure ahead. Life is full of adventures.
I know, fingers crossed it all goes well.
Yeah.
And we're there in September.
And to see where you go. Well, we hope you come out of lockdown soon, because we know people of your age love to be surrounded by their friends. I'm sure you're missing your friends as well. One last question. Is there something you'd like to leave to those listeners who have just lost a parent? What would you say to them right now, who are feeling so raw or lost or confused?
I think just, you will never find love as a parent will give to you, but you will learn to love other people in that way. And it is a journey that you've just got to keep on taking, and don't just dwell on what's happened. Try and be the people that they wanted you to become, and try and be a beacon of light kind of thing for them. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ellie. That was such a lovely message to leave.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you for your courage and your vulnerability, and for being open and honest. So thank you so much, and good luck with your journey. And yes, you'll definitely make it, because you've got grit and you've got determination. So if you want to be a teacher, you'll be a teacher.
Oh, thank you.
We can't wait to follow your journey. Ellie, you're absolutely beautiful through and through. Thank you for shining your light, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.